thank you for joining us for another episode of Calling All Angels, brought to you by Lifehouse Church in Groton. And today we have the privilege of talking to Dino and Nell from Habitat for Humanity.
Yes.
And we're excited to hear all about how Habitat for Humanity got started. Who wants to take that?
Go
ahead,
it.
Nell. That's all you. Thank you, Holly, for having us.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you for coming. I
You're
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. We represent Habitat for Humanity of Eastern Connecticut, the local branch, if you will, of Habitat for Humanity International. The international program started about 40 years by a fellow named Milton Fullerton. Shortly after he got the program started, he had a strong belief that every human being deserved shelter. And shortly after he got the program started, Rosalind and Jimmy Carter joined him, and the cause became their philanthropic cause. So they brought great awareness to it. So the international program is celebrating 40 years this year. We here in Eastern Connecticut, we serve New London County and Eastern Windham County. We started 30 years ago.
Great, that's wonderful. Now, this is a Christian-based program as well, correct?
Yeah, it's based on the principles of Christianity, of helping fellow man and giving them as we say, Nell said, simple, affordable, decent shelter. But we accept people of all faiths, no faiths, to come work with us.
That's wonderful.
So it's a great organization. I have a lot of fun.
Yes,
At work.
So you guys actually build houses for people, is that correct?
We do both building and we do quite a bit of remodeling of existing homes into completely brand new homes for people.
And that's wonderful. So if somebody wanted to say or needed a home, is there like a waiting list? Is that how that works?
So and Nell, you can jump in here in
Sure.
case
Sure.
We're both new. We've only been here a year with our affiliate, so we're both getting our feet still wet and entrenched in this. We have a family services committee, so an application process, information meeting will go out first, and then the applications will be handed out. Those are reviewed by a committee, and either you're accepted into the program or you're not. There isn't a waiting list per se, but we've had plenty of families that didn't qualify the first time through that maybe got some financial things in order. We'll do coaching along those lines to help them get their financial house in order, then have reapplied and have been accepted into the program.
Oh, great.
An interesting timing. We do these information sessions twice a year, and the next one is coming up in October. So if folks are interested in applying, and there are 3 criteria that the application process centers around. One, the need for safe and decent housing. If there's a family living in bad conditions, overcrowded, poor, just any condition that just isn't suitable, that's one criteria. The second criteria is that the family is able to pay an affordable mortgage. We offer a no-profit mortgage because Habitat is the lender. So we're able to serve families who are identified as low or very low income, who are willing to work hard to be homeowners. So they do pay an affordable mortgage, again, that we finance. Then the third criteria is a willingness to partner with Habitat. A family who goes through the rigorous application process and does in fact make it through, if they choose to become a partner family, they have to put in 400 hours of sweat equity, so they actually help build their home. They have to participate in several workshops such as budgeting, financial planning, what is it to own a pet, being a good neighbor. Our focus at Habitat for Humanity of Eastern Connecticut is not only to help families achieve homeownership, but also make it successful, so that once a family is in their home that they helped build, that is really a part of them, that they're able to stay there for the long haul. And I know we recently looked at the past 10 years. We've had one family that has been challenged with not being as successful as we hoped. But other than that, all the other families are in their homes, and will be in them, I'm sure, for the long haul.
Wow, that's wonderful. So you're not only working on getting them a home or a house, but
Right.
to help them establish what it means to actually have
Exactly.
a home.
Yeah.
Right.
That's beautiful.
It
Oh my
really
gosh,
is.
I didn't know that you guys actually went in depth like that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that you guys did the mortgages. That's amazing. That's beautiful.
Many people think that, we give away homes, and it's not about that at all. Where again, we finance them so they can be more affordable, and plus, Dino and a couple of part-timers are the construction crew on staff. Everyone else that works, they're volunteers. We have about 20 fellas that we affectionately call the Faithful Framers. They show up and volunteer once, twice, 3 times a week. Companies sometimes will come and do what's called a build day, and they do it as like a team builder. So recently we had Ocean State Job Lot managers come out, and they spent a day helping to build a house on Jefferson Street here in New London. Chelsea Groton Bank is coming soon. The colleges, we're just putting a partnership together with the Coast Guard Academy. So we depend greatly on volunteers.
That's great. How many houses would you guys say that you build a year or fix up?
5. We try to do 5 complete
5 complete.
houses throughout the year.
So that includes fixing up or building from scratch?
It's a combination of both.
Combination,
Yeah.
okay.
Our goal is to close on 5 houses in a year for our families, and we currently have 30 properties in inventory, so we have about 6 years worth of building out in front of us. The hardest part, of course, is financing all of that. So that's one of our biggest needs, as always, as a nonprofit, is fighting for our dollars and cents so that we can keep the program moving forward. Our houses that we remodel are built to new house standards. They're completely renovated, gutted back to framing, and everything's new on it. New roofing, siding, windows, all interiors, heating systems, cooling, well, no cooling systems, but electrical systems. And they're better than even some of our new houses that we build.
Wow.
So, and you would never know, when they're remodeled, you would never know that it was a remodeled house. It looks like a brand new house.
Wow, that's wonderful.
It's really cool. We're doing a house right now on Washington Street in Norwich that has been, it's been run down for many years. And that's the neat part. One of the neat things is the response from the community saying thank you for, bringing this house back to some of its beauty and some of its original, glamour that it had, and for helping our street look better and improving our neighborhood. So that's always a nice feeling too.
That's great. And these houses that you get, do you actually buy them? Are they donated? How does that work?
Most of them are donated. It's been a long time since we purchased a property. We're working on a subdivision right now in Norwich that I believe we purchased the property there. We're hoping to get at least 6, maybe hopefully more houses in on that subdivision. But the rest of our houses have all been donated, either from families, from the passing of a loved one, but this is what they wanted. They willed it to us. And sometimes people have had good fortune that has been bestowed upon them, and so they've donated a house to us as they've moved on to a new home.
That's
We
beautiful.
also get a lot of homes from banks foreclosures
Yeah,
that a lot of other people won't take because of the amount of work that's required on some of these foreclosures that have been blighted and distressed. And like Dino said, most of the time we're happy to take them on. And again, the neighborhood really rallies around us because they like that we're bringing this property in their neighborhood back. And the tax implications of the work that we do is tremendous as well, because we're taking a blighted property, we're putting a family in there who is paying taxes to the community. Right now we have just over 70 families that we have helped achieve homeownership. And at the end of the day, that's millions of dollars in taxes that's going back into the community.
Yes, endless. With them raising their children there,
Yeah.
and,
Sure.
and continuing on.
One of the neat things too, just before I came on board a year ago, the affiliate had made the decision that unless it was an exceptional case, they weren't going to take any houses pre-1955 anymore, simply because of the amount of work it was required. We had a lot of foundation issues, a lot of framing issues that we had to handle, and they were like, well, how is this going to affect us as far as donations go? And since that time, every house that has been offered to us has been a post-1955 home.
Right.
So, things happen for a reason, and people are directing, a higher power is directing things, I think. So.
Thank you, God.
That's true.
So it was really
Karma.
neat, to hear that.
It's very true, and I love to see the way that God works, and I see miracles like this all the time. So this is no surprise. It's just confirmation of the work that He does. It's amazing, and in all aspects. Everybody that I've ever had on the show has had some amazing miracle like that. So I love to hear stuff like that.
We just finalized, we're working on finalizing a design for a two-family house, multi-family house in Norwich for a piece of property. And so we've been working very hard at getting this design finalized, and then literally the next week we were offered in a pre-approved 15-lot subdivision for a condominium project that hopefully, where this house design would work perfectly for.
Wow.
So rather than it just being a one-off, hopefully it's something that we can
Look
repeat.
at that. So it lined right up. It's
Right.
It's like God, He moves stars and the whole galaxy just to make sure that we're exactly where we need to
Exactly.
be. It's when our hearts are in the right places.
Yep.
So
That's right.
amazing. So tell me how you guys got started in this.
Oh, how I got started with Habitat. So I always had a love of helping people, and been involved with a few different projects over the year. In fact, the last time I was in this room was doing a post-rap show for the Extreme Makeover that was done in Voluntown for the Gerard family. So that led me to working with the TV show for a little while, and of course that show is all about helping people. Spent some time in Joplin, Missouri. Did some local builds for people not affiliated with the TV show, just things that I wanted to do out of my heart. And all my friends, my family kept saying, this is where you need to be. This is like, you need to pursue that. But it's a very difficult thing to do when you're trying to help people. And at least now I have Habitat behind me supporting this. But to get the money, and it's a very difficult thing to do full time. So when I saw the job opening a year ago, and I never read the newspaper. It was July. I know it's July 4th weekend, 2015. I'm at my in-laws' house, and the newspaper's open on their table with the job section open, and I just looked down and it said Director of Construction. So I thought about it, chewed on it for a week or so, discussed it with my family, discussed it with friends of mine. They're like, you got to do it. This is like a perfect fit for you. And that's how we ended up with at Habitat for Humanity. And I say it all the time. I love my job. I don't work anymore. I mean, this is my purpose. This is the reason why I spent 30 years in construction. This is the reason why I love why I learned to do what I do. And I watched this video from a gentleman, and he talked about your why. And if you can follow your why, what you do has so much more meaning and purpose.
Yes.
And so now that I found my why, I love what I do.
Yes, I love that. And it was meant for you. I mean, it was opened
so.
up for you. God's like, here it is.
Here it is. I mean, it was literally
and you're
laid
arguing.
open.
And you're like arguing in your, should I don't know. A week goes by, and it's still open.
And I've had my own business for 30 years, and so it was a big change. Like, do I want to transition out of this? But I'm so glad I did. It's best job I ever had. It's so satisfying. The volunteers, the staff that I work with, and the homeowners. I had a woman yesterday that showed up on site I haven't seen in 30 years.
Wow.
And it was like long lost friends getting back together. That would have never happened had I not been working at Habitat. So there's so many blessings that I just personally have received from this position in just a year. I've met people from all over the country already that came out to work with us. I love my job. I love
You're
going to
just
work
full
every
of
day.
joy for it, and
I am.
That's you know what, you're right where you're supposed to be.
That's
and
what I say
I'm
every day.
excited about your future. I mean, your presence amazing. So yay!
So that's how I ended up here.
Well,
How'd you end
thank
up
you
here
very
now?
much.
I followed you. I mean,
You followed me.
Yes. How did you get involved in this?
you know, I've been a fundraiser most of my life, primarily in higher education, and I wanted to make a change and try something new. And I found a lot here that Dino has found. This organization does great work, helps people that really want to help themselves, and I often tell funders that we're not only helping one family or 5 families a year, but research shows that children who grow up as in rental situations typically are renters as adults, versus children who grow up in a home with a family, they typically are homeowners as adults. So, we're breaking a cycle of, poverty housing, which is really quite critical in the state of Connecticut. 1 out of 4 families cannot afford to live. That's very sad, because when you think about it, what are they cutting out? We have seniors who've worked their entire lives, and they're not able to enjoy some things that they should enjoy because of affordability. And to be working with this organization, and as Dino said, and as I said earlier, we're so volunteer driven. To see people come out every week and give their time and their expertise, and we welcome everybody. And the neat thing about volunteering on the job site is we're not given a broom to clean up. I mean, I volunteered recently, and I was working with nail guns, and my husband is scared now because I know how to work a nail gun. And
Don't mess with me.
well, come on out, yeah, because you can really learn a lot. And
We have a lot of fun in construction, trust me.
we do.
And we make it fun.
Wait, I was just going to say, you guys seem like you're a lot of fun. I'm sure you'd make anything look fun.
Well, we're
We try,
fortunate.
but-
We are fortunate, and thank you. We do all have a great sense of humor. And one final comment I want to make is that on a job site, you have the family doing their sweat equity hours. We have perhaps some students from a local college.
Or
We
high school.
have- right?
Yeah.
We have retirees, we have church groups. For me, I see bridges being built. People come on a job site thinking something about a certain culture or someone's background, and by the end of the build, you have really extended the family of the homeowner.
Yes.
People have gotten to know each other. They share cultures, they share traditions, and for me, I find that really refreshing, and I find it hopeful in this world that we're all living in right now. I mean, we can really see people of all kinds of difference coming together to help one another.
And that's I love that about volunteering is, you get to step out of your own little bubble.
Right.
And you get to go into a completely different situation, and you break so many barriers, and you
true.
learn, you develop this amazing ability to love even more people that you don't know, and build those connections like you said. And it's so important that we get more people out there doing stuff like that, because there's too many people that are just so comfortable, and,
Yeah.
and they don't want to take that step out. It doesn't take much, but once you do it, it's almost addictive, right?
Right. It is.
I call it my drug. I really do. And when we were discussing with my family about taking this position, and they're like, Dino, you're already spending so much. I don't want to sound self-serving or anything, but spending enough money out of pocket, enough of your time, it's like, you must also do it, and
Yeah.
and be able to provide a living for your family, but at the same time still be able to do this full time and follow your passion in your heart. So
Yeah, and God will provide, and He
yeah,
does.
That's
you
true.
know,
He does. He provides, and I'm addicted to the same stuff.
Yeah. I call it all the time. I call it my drug.
It is. It's addicting, and I never knew it existed.
Yep.
I never knew this drug.
And when you see that on the
existed.
faces of your volunteers,
Yeah.
whether it's at the Restore, in our office, or on the construction site, and when you see that in their eyes, it's twice as much for
Right.
yourself.
Gratifying,
It is.
Sure.
Yeah, because then for me, if I see that in somebody else, like I see it in you, I think, okay, they have this addiction too.
Right.
Let them go push this drug on other people,
Right.
and let's
Right.
get the whole world hooked on this drug
Right,
instead
right.
of the drugs that they're
I
hooked
know.
on that are not
If it was only that
satisfying and
easy, but
killing
yeah,
them.
you're right.
So there's a lot to be done out there. So what do you guys have any events coming up or?
Oh, we're always got events coming up. So I'll speak for myself first because Nell probably has a bunch of stuff too. And believe it or not, even though we're in the same office, we don't always know what
That's good.
left
though.
arm
That
doesn't know
means
what the
that
right
it's-
arm's doing.
Right.
You guys are thriving. That's
We are.
wonderful.
We are.
Yeah.
So we have projects right now that are in New London, Stonington, and Norwich. We build 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So at our website, which is up at habitatent.org, on the top of the page is a volunteer up button. You can click on that, and that'll walk you through the steps to sign up to be a volunteer, either for us on construction or at the Restores. And it shows you a calendar when you go to that page, and you can simply sign up for what site you would like to help out at. So that's what I got going on in construction.
Right.
I'm pretty
Well,
simple.
we also have a Women Build Day coming up.
So every year Lowe's does a National Women Build Week, in which the affiliates will get, if you participate, we can be approved for a grant through Lowe's, who is a phenomenal supporter of Habitat.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's right.
And we had so much fun doing this. And lots of times women feel intimidated if they're going to be the only female on the job site for the day, surrounded by a bunch of goofy guys. So the National Women Build Week shows that we can bring that power together. You feel more comfortable. You're with all your own people. We had so much fun doing that it's something that we discussed doing once a quarter. And we kind of missed the summer window here, but we're doing another one
Couple
coming up. So
weeks.
we'd
Right.
love to have
September.
our sites
Oh, in a couple
filled,
weeks.
Yes.
filled with women again. And
Yay.
if you've never done construction before or you've done a lot of it, it doesn't matter. We'll find you something to do that I promise you will not include. It might include a paintbrush, but it's not going to include a broom or a waste paper
Right.
basket or picking up the job site. We'll get your hands dirty and
So
teach
you
you
guys are
some
going to
skills.
come in and do that for us, clean up after us?
We do, absolutely. That's one of my jobs.
Absolutely.
One of my jobs is to clean the job site.
Bring us lunch.
I never want
There
the
you go.
volunteers to do that unless they're like, there's nothing else to do. We want to clean the job site. Which I had a group from a hotel come in, and I had the housekeeping staff there. They're like, Dina, we can't take it anymore. We're cleaning your house. Whether you like it or not.
That's great.
But for the most part, no, I don't like to give people busy work. We want to keep our volunteers involved in doing something and learning a skill.
Awesome. Thank you.
welcome.
Exciting
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, and that gets me excited too.
I know. I
Sorry.
see it. I
What else
know.
now?
Well,
What else
Dina
now?
touched upon volunteer opportunities beyond the job site. We have committees that are all volunteer driven, the Family Selection Committee, and of course, as the title, they work on identifying the appropriate families for the houses. We have a Family Support Committee that makes sure that our families get the support they need to be successful. We have an events committee that's also all volunteer. I happen to chair that committee. We plan our annual fundraiser, which takes place in April. It's a live auction, a silent auction, a bucket raffle, a lot of fun. April 21st, 2017. Come on out.
You're planning way ahead.
Of course
Always.
we are.
Great.
Always.
A
Always.
full calendar.
And every time we complete a home, we have a dedication where we celebrate the homeowner's accomplishments and everyone that has helped make that home ownership a reality. And anyone is invited to come to a dedication. We're going to have probably 3 by the end of this year.
Nice.
So we have
Good
a lot going on.
That's a great
and-
event to start with, if nothing
Yes.
else.
Right, right.
Because you
Yes.
get that's what it's all about, watching a homeowner
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
get their home.
Dino and I are fortunate to be here today, and we get to talk about the work that we love to do, but we both want to acknowledge that our work would not be possible without all the volunteers, and we want to thank you and all the support that we received. Just today, the Edward and Mary Lord Foundation sent us a $10,000 check to help build the Washington Street House. So that's just one of the many funders that enable us to do the work. So we thank them all.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you God for all of the stuff that you guys do, and
Right.
all the donations and the volunteers that help you, and how amazing! I have to get out there to help you guys.
It is
Oh,
so
we would
much
love
fun.
that.
I
Yeah,
love
you,
that.
you'll,
I'll
you'll
bring
have
my
a blast.
church.
Sure.
Yeah, that's one of
Sure.
our biggest contributors. Our volunteer groups from church groups,
Yes.
along with civic organizations and
My husband's a
right.
plumber.
corporate.
Oh,
Bring 'em on. We can
bring
use
'em
'em.
on.
I'm just saying.
That's great.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for
You're welcome.
coming,
Thank you, Holly.
and hopefully we'll get to see you again, and maybe we'll take some pictures, do some recording, and do something with that too.
That'd be great.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for watching this episode of Calling All Angels, and we look forward to seeing you next week.